Why do we have all these new Mons?
Oh, yeah. So I went to GameStop on Saturday to get the Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Yeah.
And they were having buy one, get one, which sounds weird since we refer to them as workers on set that I bought them. But
well, in Pokemon terms, that's not entirely wrong.
But yeah, so they had it buy one, get one 50% off. So I was like, shoot.
So
and I saw Butterfree as soon as I walked in. And I was like, I've never seen a Butterfree before, so I have to get it.
Was there a Dragonite?
There was not.
Damn. That's so sad.
These two were like the only like cool Pokemon that they had.
So like, what are their jobs now?
I say these two. There's a Gengar over there.
Yeah.
That's CJ's Gengar. He wanted him.
Oh, okay.
And I guess Butterfree's production management, I guess.
Yeah.
It's strange having fully evolved Pokemon because the rest of them are babies.
Yeah, do you like feet by any chance? I'm just curious. You're a little bit old to be working around these. So is the Gengar, but like he dead. He can't touch normal things.
So, I mean, doesn't that reflect bad on us though for only hiring
minors?
Babies?
Okay, hold on. Pokemon lore wise, technically speaking, you know that one Trico who was like ancient in the anime? So technically, evolution doesn't correlate to age.
That's true.
So we could be dealing with like 40-year-olds, 5.
Technically, I think Pichu in that case would then be the oldest. Since I've had him the longest. He's just, I don't know what's up with him.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you're on a topic today?
I think so. I've been kind of thinking about life and such. And I came upon this topic, nostalgia, especially as we're heading towards the Christmas time of year.
You know, hold on, you got nostalgia, bro. So I downloaded TikTok recently, but I was more of an Instagram Reels main. And
you didn't understand the game.
I didn't know the game, bro. I did not respect it. But I always see those fucking like only 2,000 kids will remember. I sent them to you, and I'm like, I look back at it, and I'm like, fuck, dude.
It feels weird looking at it, right?
It's like there's. I don't know.
Caleb, you got to put like one of those slideshows up here. Because if you look at those, and if you're around our age range or even like a little older, you can see, like, you'll feel something looking at those images.
Damn.
It's like, oh my gosh, has it really been that long? And like, I can feel like, because there's one that I always see where it's like a bus stop on like a snowy, hazy morning, or I don't even know if it's morning.
Did we all have like a vaguely the same like upbringing? Because I swear to God, there was a few moments like that. Maybe not in the snow, but like the same color of day.
It's exactly how it looked. Because I think I remember specifically because my mom always worked the bus stop in elementary school, so I would stand there with her waiting to go home, and I remember it was like those weeks leading up to Christmas where it's like just that weird misty feeling and snow on the ground. It literally is just that. And it's so weird. And it's weird because it's only like up until like 6th grade that seemed to exist. Because I remember the very last time I remember experiencing like weather like that was, I think, 6th or 7th grade, waiting for the bus to go home. And it was like just cold and misty, and it's like,
global warming.
What's happening?
That might be actually a pretty half-decent answer.
It could be, honestly.
Because, like, I always think about the fly statistic where it's all like, yeah, I don't really get a lot of, windshield action anymore around these parts. And all of a sudden it's like, they do a study and it's like, yeah, because, like,
the bugs are dead.
70% of, like, bug life is gone.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that is true. Your cars don't get dirty from bugs anymore, probably because we killed them all on accident.
Yeah. It's actually insane. But like going back to the nostalgia, bro, about the wintertime feels, it's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you could ever prove it. But the way to study that nostalgia is like almost impossible because it's like, I think your frontal lobe, I think this is the only way you could explain it. Your frontal lobe just thinks different then compared to now. Because like I think about it like as a child, as an adult now, it's just like, I don't really have that many problems. And then as you're an adult, you're just like, what the fuck?
I think it has something to do with like, because you know so little about the world. So everything just feels new. And it's like so much more amazing when you're first experiencing such things. Yeah. It's like, I still remember like the first like Christmas like time that I remember. I think I was like 4 maybe. And I just remember we had we went sledding outside during like a first big snowfall. I remember the Christmas tree being set up right in front of that big window where the couch is. And we had so many presents. And I think that was the year Colby got the DS Lite.
I remember that era.
Because I remember he got Yoshi's Island DS for that Christmas. It's just it's just weird because that same Christmas, I believe, I remember going to my grandparents and watching my cousin Joshua play new Super Mario Brothers on his new DS that he just got. And like that was how we spent the whole Christmas, was he was playing that and I was just watching him play.
As a child, I hated watching people play video games.
I loved watching people play.
I wanted to play.
It's like I didn't care if I was playing. I just liked the experience. Like if I was invited to play, I'd be like, sure, but like in all honesty, I didn't care if I was playing. I just like being there.
This is a weird nostalgic memory. I remember being invited over to a birthday party. I'm writing myself out here. And the birthday kid, I don't even know who he is. I think he's like one of my mom's like friends that I was invited to or whatever. And this guy got a new Batman toy. And I think going onto the trip, it was like sometime in the winter, so there's like this nostalgic feel around it. I stole that Batman Rises fucking Batman toy and said, fuck this guy. Which is honestly, in my early life, bro, I have a toy chest, I won't lie, but I never got toys from my parents because I'd always get toys from like my aunts and uncles and stuff. I don't know why. This is how it was. I think this is how I remember it. And I just stole that motherfucker and I used them for years. I don't know where he ended up going, but there's just a nostalgic memory to that.
Nostalgic memory of you just stealing that kid's birthday present.
Oh, yeah. And no one knew. In the chaos of everybody opening their stuff, little Alex was like, Solid Snake.
Mine.
And like, I just took it. I don't know. That's one nostalgic memory.
I guess in the sense that he didn't care that it was missing, then I guess...
He never loved it.
No harm, no foul.
He never even knew.
He didn't even know.
Sneak 100.
Sneak 100.
But no, I think back. I don't know, man. There's something about like the atmosphere as a child that I don't think as adults we're able to fully grasp.
You can't capture it again.
And I don't even think you can study it.
Yeah, I don't think so either because it's one of those. I think that's what makes, because like nostalgia is like a bittersweet thing. Oh, like you love looking back on those things, but it sucks because you'll never be able to fully experience that ever again.
I saw a meme on TikTok, so this is different from Instagram Reels, where it's all like where you play an old game and like you don't like the old game, you just like the memory associated with it. And I think about that often because it's like I start playing older games, and for the most part at the beginning I'm locked the fuck in. It's like that 2 week Minecraft phase, locked in, building the world, building the farm, XYZ, right? And then all of a sudden it just disappears. Like for whatever reason, it's just like you kind of think about the game for too long, and it's just like, at least personally to me, it's like the game all right, blocks and shit, but like you don't feel that connection as a child because it's so different. Like I remember thinking back on the PlayStation 3 Minecraft days and seeing how that worked compared to like now, and it's just like it's different because in my mind too with like mods,
early Minecraft is gone. Like you cannot experience that anymore.
Yeah, well you can roll back to the version, but like you can't feel it as a kid anymore because now you're a 20-year-old man
and you know how the game works.
Yeah, and you play it and you're like, man, this sucks. Unless you're one of those weird Minecraft players that are like, nah, man, I still play 1.3. I'm like, how the fuck do you play 1.3?
Even then, like, just like, because for me, playing those games that I enjoyed as a kid, it's like, I still find them just as enjoyable, but it's like, it's not the same experience as experiencing it for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like being a kid and playing, like, let's say, like, Super Smash Brothers Melee, like my first memories playing that, like I could never recapture that same.
I think
feeling.
I have like, I'm gonna be honest, I think I have like one memory of seeing Melee.
You only have one memory
because okay, so here's another nostalgic memory,
or even Brawl too, because
I have more memories of Brawl than I do of Melee.
That's because everybody had the Wii and Brawl,
yeah,
and that existed longer in our lifetime,
dude. I'm not trying to say the fucking GameCube sucked, but like, I knew one person that had it and Melee one time. And then like a year later, I saw Wii and that's the only thing I saw up until like 7th grade.
That's just marketing. That's just how it went down. The Wii was just so much more sold in more households where the GameCube just wasn't.
Yeah, it's just so weird to look back at that era.
But it's like, it's just strange. It's a strange feeling, nostalgic.
Oh yeah, and like,
or like seeing like elementary school classrooms, like especially in those slideshow reels on TikTok.
Okay, did like, all of them just look the same? Because I swear to God, I look at it and go, I know some of these elementary school classrooms were not this colorful. Yeah. What the hell?
It's like, wait a minute, but no, I don't know, honestly. I think they did have like a specific like style to them.
There was I won't lie, I think why aesthetics became a big thing was because almost unintentionally with like, what generation of people would that be? Boomers? Because the boomers are kind of teaching
for aesthetics?
Us? Well, okay, who was teaching us like that generation?
That would be Gen X.
Would it be Gen X? Would be like that the Gen X and
Gen
then
X to Boomer.
Yeah, the Boomer and Gen X people unironically had birthed like aestheticism in those early days because now everybody's about them.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense why like millennials are constantly chasing like that like weird like looks to their houses because they're trying to capture some sort of like probably some sort of memory that they have of something. But they just, that's, I guess going back to that one episode where we were talking about things just getting more bland with modernism.
Ariel Frunk or whatever, I forgot the aesthetics.
Yeah, Future Arrow.
There you go, baby.
But like people
still
are
dope. I love that.
I know.
Oh God, it just hit me.
The Windows, old Windows nostalgia. It's so weird because you'll never experience something like Windows for the first time ever again. Because when you first would get the computer, it would come with all these like demo programs and like games to play. But it's like now you don't really. When you get a computer, it's just you have your basic setup, and then you have to buy and download everything on your own. Like they don't give you anything to play with anymore, other than Paint maybe. But a lot of stuff doesn't even come free with the computer anymore. You have to pay subscriptions for like Microsoft Office stuff.
Yeah, capitalism
which sucks.
Neo-capitalism, neo-feudalism. It's all ass.
But like it's just so weird because like even the desktop layout and
dude, I won't lie, man. That 4x4 screen and then just the windows, the green window logo and the little square, bro.
The circle and you have everyone's icons with those basic
the blue
pictures.
Bar peak. Beautiful layout, and just the rolling hills. I won't even lie. I think personally, if I lived back then, I don't think I would have changed the background.
No, yeah,
I don't think I would have, because the rolling hill was gas.
Of course, back then, if you did change the background, it was never formatted correctly.
No, never.
It was always pixelated or stretched out. There was or like half the screen was still black with the smallest picture.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. Now it's different. Now I got like animating like wallpapers and stuff and et cetera, et cetera.
Or the bubble for the screensaver when you'd see the bubbles come up on the screen. Oh, that's gone now, isn't it? Yeah, they don't have that anymore.
They don't.
Man, I think that's part of like what sucks about nostalgia too. Is just some things just disappear, and you can
they go extinct.
Like there's things that you have that you like old games and stuff that you can try to play again, or TV shows and watch again to re-experience that nostalgia, and you'll never feel it. But then there's stuff like that is a one-time thing that you'll never get to experience ever again.
The joy of life is to experience it.
Pretty much. And like elementary school too, just that feeling of being a little person sitting in the classroom, not knowing anything.
I was never little. I was always big.
Well, little for
the time.
For the time. But like still, you're just like in class, and every holiday felt more special. Because like Halloween, there's such nostalgia for Halloween.
Halloween hit different, bro. I swear to God, I hate the nurse that we've been doing to the earth patches where Halloween just keeps on getting the boot, bro.
Why are we making Halloween less fun? How is it possible that we're making Halloween less fun?
I don't know.
That was like the most fun holiday.
I think it was because at one point people got too protective of their kids, which is justified. I'm not going to say that's wrong, but like, I don't know, man.
I guess maybe that's the problem. It became too much of like an adult holiday. Where it lost like the childlike wonder to it.
You know what? I had a how long ago was this? Hold on, maybe I can. I had a tweet that I wanted to talk about real quick, because this kind of answers the question. Hold on, let me find it real quick.
Let him cook.
I had an epiphany before my girlfriend came over for this Thanksgiving weekend about like. I was looking at anime. Like, I have the ability, thanks to like vidIQ, to see like people's monthly views. So I'm going down like my YouTuber friend list, and I'm just noticing. I'm like, damn, you guys are all at like my level, and JoJo's has been gone for like 3 years, so on and so forth. I'm like, technically, not to toot my own horn, but I'm like the second most like viewed JoJo's channel, so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then I looked at everybody. I looked at the JJK fans, and then like the overall anime fans, like just who do like the multi like Shonen Jump stuff, where they'll just talk about all the manga. And I'm just kind of looking at it and just overall look at the scene. I'm like, dude, if it's not One Piece, Dragon Ball, or the Dandadan right now, I'm like, dude, there's no hype. Like the this looks dead. But then one of my friends was all like, what about the gaming side, right? And then about it, I'm doing it right now. He's one of my editors too, like when he wants to be. And then I kind of had this like epiphany where, and I'm going to quote myself, to be real for a second, I think culturally, the internet for the most part might be on a downward. All the IRL stuff is causing some like heavyweight change. I fear the unconscious collective connecting between all of us might be dealing with a lot. I get it. I don't think anybody knows how to have fun anymore.
You're probably right.
Because, like, I think about it, and I'm like, dude, I remember adults being way more fucking cheery. I remember... I don't remember if we're dealing with nostalgia here, but I remember being, like, 15, not 22, and being like, hey, I remember we're having, some fun here. Or 13 when I was different, just like looking at the adults around me, not looking at, the pictures of the things or like my friends or stuff. It's just like there feels to be like there's some type of weight, at least maybe here in America. I don't know about the globe, but I don't know, but France and the UK are seemingly are dealing with stuff too. So I don't know. I'm just all like, if the internet is the mirror to reality, I'm just like, I'm seeing some stuff and I'm all like, I don't know. We're like, pretty fucking sad.
Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's just we're still not far enough removed from like high school era. But it's like, I remember going into high school being like, man, this is like hearing all the stories about like what high school would be and like all the stuff. Like high school's like the crowning moment of your career in school. And I just went into high school and it was like,
this sucks.
This is like nothing happens.
No.
Nothing. Like maybe that was just our experience that nothing happened, but it's like it's such a dull era compared to like everything else. Because when you look at like elementary school and like middle school, there's always like so much to do and like you're experiencing so much new stuff that like for me, once you get to the high school experience, it's like you're just kind of doing the same stuff over and over again. And it I guess prepares you for reality because once you get to adulthood, guess what? You're doing the same stuff over and over. And
then, like, again. College slightly prolongs that,
pretty much,
but like, only by as long as you're like what you're working there for.
Yeah, and I didn't.
But even then,
I didn't actually have a college experience because I just did everything online. Because I was just like, what's the point? What's the point of doing it in person if I can do it just as good online?
Yeah. Because I'm trying to convince Nat to do with her some of her master stuff, but it's just like, I don't know. I think it's. I don't know, man. If I know my American history correctly, it's like we're on a downward right now for the most part, which I understand, because like you can't have like 60 years of a good thing. That's not statistically impossible or probable. But like I feel like we're going in a downhill. But I hope at some point through some change, I don't know what that will be, is where you finally go back up, because it's just there's no color. Everything is square. There's like, I'm not trying to reminisce about the past too heavily here that, you know, I'm wearing the rose tinted glasses, but it's just all like, there is a clear difference of what I like and what I don't like and what was better versus what's not.
But maybe that is just part of getting older though, because I'm seeing kids, like young kids now who were even younger before, who have nostalgia of their own days that I would consider like, oh, those are the lame days. But it's like, those are important to them and they have nostalgia for that.
Human perspective.
But it's like, does that just happen over time? Like maybe you were right when you said that like us as kids were like seeing the world in a happier perspective. But now that we're adults, like we're actually seeing how everybody else already thought.
Maybe what it is just kind of like a,
because like maybe the adults around us just weren't that happy to begin with, and we just only
2008 recession. Didn't even know what happened. I was fucking ooh shows Teen Titans.
Well, Teen Titans
go. But like I think I think I know what it is, because there was a good video on it where I remember watching a very old like animation of a bunch of like teenagers being at a pool, and then all of a sudden like I'd have to find the video. It recently blew up again, and I was like older. I was like, holy shit, this is what killed my innocence. And like the whole idea was, yeah, this is the death of innocence. And I watched it in real time. So I feel like for the most part, what slowly happens to, I think, most people as they grow up is the innocence dies, because you grow up and realize. And then I think this is how it, like, I view the world, at least personally here. I don't know how it is with you. It's like, you realize how fucked up people are.
Yeah,
they're like,
people suck. We've learned that last episode. Is like we saw the worst things people have done to each other, and like you don't really understand that as a child, but as an adult, you're like, damn, man, like because even like it's like. I'll let you get back to what you were saying, but like even getting into adulthood, like you think adults like understand.
We
like,
don't know shit
how things go, but it's like once you're interacting with people who have been in the real world for a long time, you see that some of these people are still they act still like children. Yeah. Like people don't like maturity isn't like what we once thought it was.
No, not at all. Because it's like, how do I put it? Like you, compared to what I wanted as a child versus an adult now, I will say as a guy who achieved his dreams, at least some of his more childlike ones, not his adult ones yet. They're so fucking skewed because you realize it. You're like the wonder of becoming a YouTuber, and then when you pull back the curtain, it's just like, fuck, this is boring. Holy shit, does this get repetitive? It's not this. Hey guys, welcome to the next. Hello everybody, your host Markiplier, and we're playing Amnesia, and like you can upload 3 times a day. It's not like wow, it's so cool, and like as you realize as a guy, it's just like, oh, that's 3 hours of my life recording and then 3 hours editing back to back to back to back on a day
minimum,
and then daily. It's just like, oh my god, I
don't know how they did that back in
demons.
the day.
They were on demon time, bro. Old classic YouTubers, demons. It's like insert Jujutsu Kaisen ass meme here. The modern era of sorcerers and YouTubers, babies. The classic era of YouTubers, the Heian era, the Heisei era of YouTube, the classic age. Mark, Pewds, and Jack were demons, bro. 3 uploads a day, and sometimes it would be a different game. So they'd have to play like maybe an hour or 2 of one game.
Yeah.
Edit that, be done with it, then record another 3 or 4 hours of a different game, edit, and then do that all in the same day. And then repeat the process the next day. And then Pewds did that for 13 years, dude. I don't even know how many days that is. It's like, what, 365 times 13? Can you do that in your head?
No.
That's, God. And then
that's that's 13 years. That's 13 years that he was doing that. That's insane.
No, that's unimaginable now. Like not even Mr. Beast does that. I don't know. Say the demon's name here. But like even he goes like, dude, I can't make those videos like that.
It's just not, especially with the way that YouTube works now. It's just not possible.
No, you have to.
It's not beneficial either to the channel.
Yeah, you have to at least edit somewhat. And I think Vanoss kind of made that like extremely popular within that sphere because it's like, comparing Mark to his content, it's just like minimal, maybe a little added things. And then Vanoss had some like cool edits and so on and so forth. And Mark now does that. Like Mark will take a whole month off. Well, for other reasons, but like even before then, like getting into the whole like directing thing, he'd like take a whole month off and be like, I didn't want to do nothing. But it's, God, I wish I could do that. I'd just be like,
break time.
I was like, no, it's always on the grind trying to get something out. But I don't know, man. There's that era was wild, and just that work ethic is insane. But then going back to like the broader spectrum, you start to realize things because like as a child, this is a big one. Why does anybody drink? That's stupid. Why does anybody get high? Oh, that's why it all comes back to pain. We all laugh at it, and we try to escape from it in some way or fashion. It's probably why at least maybe metaphorically, or at least like if you want to get like big brain about it, why sex is the way it's designed. It's designed for pleasing yourself because everything around you fucking sucks. It's like the one benefit of being physical in nature, because it's all like at least being a higher functioning being, you have to deal with that. Even at a caveman's level with a 5-year-old brain and the survival that it takes to live in that environment, I think it was designed or made that way in order to benefit us. Because like unlike a bird or a dog, it's like they're not dealing with existential problems.
The existential dread of existence.
Yeah, or et cetera, et cetera. It's just a thing that they do.
Yeah.
Or let's say you're a dolphin and you try to get another example. We can use dolphins. Dolphins get high.
Well, they're also higher intelligent beings.
I think a sign of intelligence is if they get high. That means you deal with problems and you think about it.
You think about your problems and you try to find ways to get around that.
Exactly. I feel like that's a pretty big thing. And even as a child, it's like, I think I think this is a good one. I haven't seen anybody really go in depth with it. I wonder if it's ever been written down, or maybe it's just kind of one of those things you figure out as an adult, but you don't really like say it out loud or write it down. But like, I don't think there's okay. How do I phrase this? You, even as an adult, being nice, you will always cause trauma to your child. It's impossible not to, because you can't control how they think. And so even if you were to take a spoon away from a kid, because it's like, why do you have a spoon? I need to clean it or something arbitrary like that. And all of a sudden now, metaphorically, you've hit the tree with an axe. You've wounded the root, not on purpose. Maybe you even use the back of the axe just to, I don't know, whack it for some fucking reason. And now the newborn sapling has a problem, and now it's all defensive and et cetera, et cetera. So now I mentioned when you get to adulthood, you end up realizing problems about yourself, and you're just like, huh. And then you think back on it, like,
and I think a lot of that does also come down to just the personal perspective. Like, it's weird because like
if you think about it's the whole it's crazy.
It's the whole argument of nature versus nurture, where I think some people naturally are just predisposed to act a certain way and will view the world a certain way.
That's why you get serial killers and other people.
But like you also have to take into account that the way they're raised will also affect that as well. It's a balance between the two, because you can be changed, but also you are predisposed to also be a certain way.
And almost in a way, like when you start to think about it like that, it's just like, does fate exist? Why am I acting the way I am? Even though I have a free conscience and I can do things. And there's like a whole big, I always love going down those philosophical rabbit holes. I have to burp. Where it's all like, did you do that decision, or did your parents technically in the chain of command or the chain of consequences make you do that? And then from there, their parents and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, did you actually ever have a choice? So it's like, I don't know. It's just existential crisis mode now. It's just like, oh, what the fuck?
And I do think that at the end of the day, it is always your choice. Because like, you can, like, it's like, if I were to ask you, would you rather have a slice of pumpkin pie or a slice of apple pie? And we have two people arguing for either side of the pie. And so your choice, what do you want, pumpkin or apple?
And then I hit you with that taco shell ass. And I always remember this. This is nostalgia.
Why not both? And see, that's a choice. That was your choice that you made through that decision. Yeah. No, like, you could have as many outside factors telling you what to do, but at the end of the day, it is always going to be up to you what you do.
Yeah. But sometimes I also feel like, though, and like a slight caveat to that is like, I do think like predisposed like ideas beforehand can influence you.
Yeah.
So it's never like 100% your choice.
Well, it is like, still your choice, but you just chose to go with that idea.
Yeah, or something like that. So I know there's a whole, I remember going down that rabbit hole. I think I want to go down it again with like the idea of choice, because it gets really complex. I don't know how a child could never think of it, but like an adult could after experiencing all of that. Just be like, look at the list here.
Let's think of it this way. There's people who are afraid of spiders. They don't like spiders at all. And so they could be predisposed to be in a household that kills spiders when they see them. So they think, when you see a spider, you kill it. But at some point, they could look at a spider and be like, sympathy. Maybe I don't have to kill every spider I see. Maybe I don't have to do that. That's where they still have the choice. Like, they may be predisposed to think we kill spider, but at the end of the day, it's their choice whether or not they kill the spider. Because like, there's the outside factors are what you've learned, but at the end of the day, you still make the choice. Like, it's still down to your decisions.
I think in the lot. I forgot the fucking name of it. I'm so pissed. But that is one way of thinking of it. I know there's a different one.
In my mind, if you don't take the responsibility of understanding that every choice that you make does come down to you, then you can feign that responsibility and say that it's anybody else's fault.
Yeah.
Like you could be like, if I were to be texting and driving and hit someone with a car.
Let's make it crazy. Drunk texting and driving.
If you were drunk texting and driving and hit someone with a car, and you're like, it's not my fault, my dad taught me how to drink and my mom was texting me, it's like, no, you still made the choice to do those things. You didn't have to do those things. You chose to do those things.
Judge, I'm insane because my father taught me how to drink.
My father was the one who got me into drinking.
My father was an alcoholic.
But like you get what I'm saying though, right? Or it's like you ultimately make the choices that make up your life. Like you might have outside influences that affect that, but at the end of the day, you're still making the choice. Yeah.
But then you make the wrong choice, and then that has consequences.
And at the end of the day, you only can really blame yourself for that. Like you can't blame somebody else for your own actions.
Yeah, I agree with that. But then it's just like, but then I also feel bad for the parents because like, so here's one way to look at it too with the whole trauma thing and like how. Almost in a way you're never going to be able to unharm them. It's weird
how trauma and nostalgia are like two sides of the same coin.
Oh, 100%.
Or like nostalgia is like the one that you want to go to that hurts. And then there's like the one that hurts that you do not want to revisit, but for some reason it's always lingering in your mind.
There. Two sides of the same coin. The fact as a parent, you have to make a difficult choice. And the reality of it is, the grim reality as an adult living in a world that you now fully comprehend is like, this choice is going to suck either way.
Yeah.
And there's no way to stop it. And for them, it's going to suck. And it's just how it is.
Yeah. And
my girlfriend was supposed to be here for this goddamn conversation right now, and she's not here. Her parents, I won't give all the details here, broke up for reasons. And because of that, she eventually moved here. That was never her intention. She never wanted it. But her mom made a choice in which either A, they stayed where they lived, and more likely than not, even Nat said it, she probably wouldn't be the person that she is now. Probably worse. I think that's how she described it. Don't quote me here. And now the current one where it's all like, now she has to live with a stepfather that she actively does not like, nor the environment that he's made. And because mom did that, it's just like, she just has to deal with trauma. It's not playing in her head. You're fucking living in it. God, why aren't you here? Put a picture down on the screen. Why aren't you here?
But like at the same time with that too, it's like Nat still makes an active effort to better her environment rather than just being like, life sucks, so therefore I still make my life miserable.
More, at least in her situation, she's more dragged back in than forced. She tries to actively go, I don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, she's still making
due to trauma, I'm forced to do it.
She's still making a life for herself, though.
Yes, and I'm very proud of it.
She's still doing positive things that reinforce her becoming a better person. Yeah, because some people will be put in that situation and go the exact opposite direction and just make themselves a worse person and blame their situation for it.
And that happens more often than not. It's like other person makes a decision for you, and then you're left with either shitty option. So then it's like either you struggle to do better, which is infinitely hard depending on the situation, or you go infinitely worse and then just do a chain reaction of bad decision after bad decision, which is, I think statistically, I think I also saw this too, where it's like probable for you just to make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision just because.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck.
And I mean,
that just sucks.
It might even just be easy for me to say, but it's like, at the end of the day, like, you always just want to make yourself a better person because, like, who else are you doing it for other than just for yourself? If you choose to go the exact opposite direction, then all you're doing is hurting yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I might be in a bad situation, but I'm going to actively try to bring myself to a point where I will be in a better position.
What's the Kim Jong-un meme I have in my fucking
Kim Jong-un
meme was like, what is it? Oh, I don't want to look it up, but it's all like, it's basically the indomitable human spirit just kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm so pissed. What's it called? I don't know the exact quote, but it's just like, it's so Jover in me was so little compared to let's get this bag or whatever. So vaguely something like that. I think I completely butchered
Here's what
it.
I'll say. Why reserve yourself to darkness when you can drag yourself into
But you
the
know
light?
what? So, okay, my girlfriend's not here, so she's not here to defend herself. Me and you are very similar.
Yes.
Why sit in the black when there's light above you? Nat don't think like that. She goes, damn, I'm sad. I'm going to sit here in the darkness. And I go, what?
Well, I mean, it's okay. Sometimes you just need time to build yourself back up and you just have to just sit there for a bit. But at the end of the day, I think from what I know from Nat is I think at the end of the day she'll still make the effort to climb out of that pit.
Sometimes she needs a little bit of a kick. Just
where some people will just dig themselves deeper, which like
I think most of the time it is though. I think they just dig themselves deeper because
a lot of
they
people
don't have
do
a support system or they just don't know any better, which I think is often the case because it's just like, what is good for me? Yeah. And then a whole bunch of extra stuff on top of that. You there's not a clairvoyance you can actually.
But I think that's where it's important to understand that every choice you make is your own. Yeah. Because there's that third option where the people feign responsibility and that digs themselves a deeper hole because they'll never take responsibility for their actions.
Hole, I would argue.
A worse, they'll put themselves in a worse position than they already were in.
But somehow, some way, they fucking manage to get everything they want, but they're still the dick. Mm-hmm. It's weird how life works.
It's weird. Some people can have everything and do nothing with it, and some people will have nothing and somehow create the greatest things.
It's weird. Life is weird.
Life is truly strange like that.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact. I recently learned that occultism with Nazis is like super pseudoscience based. I don't know why I thought about that. I had to work on a video talking about Stroheim and JoJo's, and I went down a rabbit hole, and like all of like fascism is just totally based in wacko people making constant bad decisions and then goading everybody into it. For some reason, I don't know how gullible people exist. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I know why I'm bringing it up because Madonna was being sung at church when the lyrics are strictly about giving a fucking blowjob and a hand job.
I could not believe.
That's why I brought it up. I think this is relevant. My brain was trying to find the path, and he found it. Okay, hold on. Let me regather everything. Mm-hmm. I have no idea how I was able to spiral that all in together, but I want to say for the majority of people and how they think, none of them are critical. So that's why I think there are so many, like, just like, why did that happen? Because they were dumb. Mm-hmm. Like, it's insane because, like, that song is telling you how you suck, people. Mm-hmm.
It's very clear.
Yet again, hey, y'all was right.
What's so funny too is that was the initial backlash for when the song first came out,
and like a version,
the church, like I don't know if it was the church or just churchgoers were like, wow, that song terrible, horrible. She's making a horrible analogy, comparing it to prayer. Not to mention it was to a black man in this song.
That's right.
So it was a double negative for those Southerners. But it's like how did they, in the, what, 40 years since that song came out?
I think it's 30.
Is it 30 to 40?
30 or 40.
In that span of time, somehow the plot was completely lost.
My mom's entire life existing. It's gone.
They forgot, I guess, what that song had so much backlash towards it. Not to mention the fact that the reason that the song is back in the pop culture to begin with is from Deadpool, which is a Marvel Comics entity talking about segregation because some people are born different than others, which, mind you, one of the most infamous villains the X-Men had was a Christian evangelicist saying that they were wrongfully made from God, even though they live in a universe in which they constantly have Celestials, Thanos, Thor, and the Phoenix Force constantly show up to Earth on top of the Skrulls and demons. I don't know how they lost the plot. They either lost it or they never had, like, they missed it somehow by a long shot. Yeah. I don't know how that's possible.
People are just dumb.
I truly don't know. And even if you don't have all of that backstory for how Deadpool even came to be a character, literally that whole movie is so, like,
raunchy, not Christian friendly.
Christian evangelical would want to promote. Yeah. Like, I'm
Marvel Jesus.
It's a good movie, and I think you should be able to laugh at the satirical nature that they take stuff, but to be like, yeah, this is what God wants me to do. God, I hear this song that says prayer in it, and yeah, it's about God, isn't it? Not to mention the fact that those same people were literally boycotting the Deadpool movie for the Marvel Jesus line.
I don't get it.
How
not to go back into politics, but I love how the fact that, like, nobody in any of those churches have actually fucking read the book.
If they did, they would have such a different way of thinking, wouldn't they?
Yeah. And I went down one of those rabbit holes too, where I was going down, like, slavery in the Bible, and it's just like, wow, it is so pro enslavement, it's not even funny. And the amount of, like, backflips you have to do, the amount of, like, debate you have to, like, do in order to be like, no, it's not actually about, you know slavery and how, like, the book talks about it. It's like, it's like, dude, there is a line in the book that says, after you've destroyed an entire nation of men, you can forcefully take the women into slavery, regardless of what they say, and you can do anything to them. What do you mean about that book? At the same
time, though, the Bible also does strictly be like, yeah, slavery, we should probably not have that.
And it's so, like, weird. It's weird.
I just think that people take what they want to hear and they just run with it. Whatever horrible thing they want to do, they'll take it from a good place and be like, wow, look at this interpretation of this that I have that I'm going to run with for the rest of my life.
I have a very big debate opinion, very big. I've always kept in line with, like, how people enunciate their words and how they use their speech in order to do things. I've always been fascinated with it. That's why I think I did speech and debate for such a long time. And misinformation is not the worst. It's not, because you can disprove it. But to really get an audience stirring, to really have some power, you twist the fucking truth. Because the minute you twist the truth, oh boy, can you do some fucking damage with that shit. Oh boy, I know every single one of those mega churches. You're grabbing it,
they're like,
and then you're just.
Here's a nice little truth. Here's a nice little truth that I have. I'm just gonna spin it in a little way that we just missed the part that I don't like, even though that's the thing that's good, but it doesn't benefit what I want. Yeah. So we're just gonna twist around that, and I'm gonna funnel that message to people.
false prophets. And fun fact too about this, in the original translations of those Greek texts, or the Hebrew to Greek to Latin to English and so on and so forth, is the false prophet is not a single individual prophet, it's multiple. So insert your actual biblical knowledge here if you actually know something. It's just like, oh, you are quite literally, what if you read the book and then the context behind it, like what a good Christian should do, coming from a guy that isn't Christian. Wow, the book makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And like, I know people
really
argue
does.
for like the context of like of certain passages and stuff. It's like, I'm gonna be real, bro. The book sucks.
And if you really just want to boil it down to the finest minute point, you just look at the story of Jesus and then you reflect upon what you see yourself and others around you doing. You say, would Jesus like me doing that? And I think you'd find a lot more often than not that a lot of these people who are preaching themselves as the main, like, God's, the good people are the same people who would actively be the ones crucifying Jesus Christ.
Yep. Hey, you shouldn't do that. Kill him now.
And that's what's so weird.
I don't get it either. Like, I think overall, if I were to review, I haven't read the Bible in full in a very long time. I have done it, but I'll be real. If it's not Jesus or Job, personally speaking, throw the rest of the bitch out. I'm being real.
Yeah, I mean, most of the quotes that like people run with are just straight Jesus quotes.
Yeah, like everything else is throw it out. Like it is so dumb. Dumb.
And I think that's weird. I don't know how we got to nostalgia to media literacy, but that's where it's so baffling, because those other stories are literally meant, most of them are like parables, and like you apply them to a different context.
You have to read, dude.
You actually have to understand the words that are being said, because at the surface level, if you read it as just like dumb, if you're just dumb reading it, you're like, yeah, God said, or they say do this in the Bible, and you don't take in any of the fact that literally they say do this, but then later on it's like, yeah, that's a bad thing to do, don't do that.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, if you're an actual person who, I don't know how people don't do this. I know you have, okay, being a Sonic fan, we're just going to go off on this tangent. Do you actually like to learn how the studio developed Sonic? Like the little fun facts and trivia?
I like doing that with all my favorite stuff.
Okay, so apply that to the Bible. I have no goddamn reason. I'm using God's in capital G here. I got the big guy next to me, if he's real. To you people, if you somehow watch this video, to do that with the Bible, read or find the original Greek translation of the thing you're reading to actually understand it in full. I do it with my manga. I do it with any story I read. I do it with Warhammer. Warhammer is so massive. It is biblical in scale, and I have to constantly check myself to actually understand something. And fun fact, there are more authors in Warhammer than there were in the Bible. So I have to like double check if this Primarch is being written the same way in this other book, because sometimes they're not. Sometimes and it gets really confusing. So it's just like,
especially in a book that's been translated so many different times.
Oh, don't even get me started on that, dude. Trying to translate Japanese to English is so difficult. So imagine doing that 7 times over with remember how ancient Hebrew works? It's different from modern Hebrew because it has to go on a completely different route, which then has to go into Greek, which then has to go into a dead language, and then the dead language into English. And even then, comparing the English to, so they don't even do it right. So they do Old English, which is like thou art, and you know, the peasantry and so on and so forth, into modern English, which is completely different now. I think we're at the point where the Thorautoi and like the High Middle English way of speaking is just kind of basically its own independent language, at least in my opinion. where it's like you understand some words, but it's like, like I don't know exactly what you're saying, but I think I get the context. So it's kind of like that, and like the fact that you don't read the originals or get close enough to it to actually formulate an opinion, bro. It's just like they're just goading you in for the fucking the church money, bro. That's all it is at the end of the day.
They're just getting, because
if you don't actually read their stories and actually come out of it like, I should be probably a better person, and then somehow take like, yeah, my wife is below me and a slave. I'm like, okay,
like, how did you
do that?
How do you get, like, the fact that people can go to church and read the Bible and still
no, they don't read the Bible in church. They're told the Bible in church.
Told the Bible,
and I've gone to so many churches and they don't say, go read your Bible this week.
But they get all these teachings and they still somehow end up misogynist and racist. Like, how do you get
love
that?
your fellow man? What is the golden rule? I like the amount of people that say the cross references in the Bible, all the build up, but no one ever brings out the hypocrisy, because it's like the golden rule basically breaks everything. All the enslavement quotes shouldn't exist. They just straight up shouldn't. Any misogyny shouldn't exist. Even the mistranslations of the homosexuality quote, which might not even be referencing homosexuality to begin with, shouldn't exist either. Honestly, because the golden rule should state that you should just treat him as a whole human being.
From every passage that I've seen them use as an example of the Bible being like, oh, God says no gay. It literally, like, from what I can contextualize from what the text says, it never says anything about no gays. It literally just says marriage should be between a man and a woman. That's not like there shouldn't be anything else. It's literally just like, this is like this. It's literally just saying this is how you get babies.
Yeah,
is between a man and a woman.
Yeah,
that's all. That's literally all it's saying.
Yep. But like I said, the way to get something that you want is you grab the truth and then you go twist it, and then you're able to get anything you want out of it. Because
pretty much
going back to nostalgia and just somehow making bad decisions due to trauma and et cetera, it's like some people just don't do that. And for whatever reason, I almost find it comical, because Warhammer also talks about it a lot, is that holy fuck, are people gullible.
And I guess that's where it's like a double-edged sword with like nostalgia and trauma, is it's like, or I guess specifically nostalgia, because like you could have like a specific memory towards something, and unless you expand your thinking upon that, I guess maybe that's the difference between us and most other people, is like we see stuff that we used to enjoy in our past, and we can see that like, oh, it's changed now.
Dumb.
I'm a different person now, and I view this in a different perspective, where other people will never revisit those things that they remember, and they'll just only remember it in that closed space of how they always saw it when they were younger. Like, I guess just to look at an example of like, somebody has a bad experience with like somebody of a different race or something, and then they never expand their ideas about people of that race. They only know that interaction,
or are told about that race,
or are told about that, and only keep that mindset of this is what this person is, and this is how I should treat these kinds of people.
Science, for example.
This is what I should expect from this type of person.
When Darwin had the theory of evolution, a lot of people took that as white people are superior, and then they actually look into it more over the years, and it's all like, yeah, there's like literally no way to actually define race. It's just made the fuck up. You just made it up.
It just happens.
Like Hitler, yet again, when I went down my rabbit hole, tried to like somehow qualify like Aryans by like genetics or something, and he literally could not fucking find it.
Who would have thought? Because if we were that different, we wouldn't be able to reproduce.
Yeah, it's not possible. I don't get that. Even Neanderthal. Neanderthal used to be a bad term. It almost was derogatory until the white man found out, oh, wait, all of you have like,
we have those genes.
Like 5 to 3% of those genes. All of us do. Almost all of us. There's some other people with slightly different variation of other monkey, which also crosses into us depending on the area of the world. So you might have multiple of them. So it's just like, oh, it didn't matter. Your racist
It's all stupid. It literally only exists out of a person's own ignorance.
Yeah. Which I think if I were to look at man, I think it is just an ignorant species.
I think I wouldn't even. I don't know. I think just
at least
I think people just choose to be ignorant. It's like you could put the truth directly in front of them, and I guess here comes the choice. You can give them the correct answer, and a lot of them will just choose to not take it. They will just choose to be like, you know what? I see that right answer, but I'm not going to believe it.
Oh, bro, it's just funny. You just think about it for so long, and it's just like, man.
Like,
I don't know what else to tell you,
bro. Flat earthers, literally anytime they try to prove that the earth's flat, they accidentally prove the earth is round. Yeah. And somehow they still exist.
And then I always laugh. I saw this on Instagram Reels where it's an astronaut in space. He's like, you guys want to see the Earth? And he fucking flips the camera. And it's so massive. You see the curvature of the planet. And it's like, you don't see the ice walls. There's literally nothing. Oh, it's AI. No, look, that guy works for him. I can go to NASA's website, click the guy's link. He does that. He's up in space with the Russians, just on the space probe, on the space station.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what do you want?
And like, that's just people just choose to just be dumb at that point. You're just choosing to be stupid.
Yeah. That's like, at one point it's just like, I can't. I think the greatest quote in human history, the greatest analogy in human history will always be, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
It's true.
Whoever made that line, at least in my book, is personally the smartest human being
like
ever.
It's true. Just some animals and people you could give them what they need to survive, and they won't take it.
Every single time.
They will not take it. And I don't understand how.
So the thing to take from this episode is be smart about yourself. Make critical decisions and explore what you like. Because maybe at the end of that tunnel,
or even
you might not like it.
Here's what's even more important. Explore what you don't like.
That too.
Like, if you don't like something, you need to understand why you don't like that thing.
Exactly.
Because like I could just say I don't like tomatoes, but I won't know exactly why I don't like tomatoes until I constantly experience tomatoes and understand why I don't like tomatoes.
Here's a good example. I recently got into salad. Caleb saw me fuck up 2 bowls of salad.
He ate the salad. He ate more salad than anything else.
Yeah. I don't know. I had 2 pieces of roast, so maybe it's all even out in my head. But I ate a salad. For a long time, I wasn't a salad enjoyer. And then until one day, I was like, fuck it, I'll take a salad. And I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't half bad if you don't fucking drown it with ranch. Oh, wow.
Yeah. You just get a little light dressing on there.
Yeah.
You have fresh leaves and vegetables in it.
Yeah.
You get it nice and spread out. It's delicious.
Nutritious even for you.
And I mean, as a child, when you eat that stuff, you will understand. Like, you have a skewed perspective because children taste things differently.
Yeah.
But like, that's why it's important to, like I said, revisit things that you don't like and see either A, if you still don't like it, or B, if you can see exactly why you don't like that.
Oh yeah.
Because then that at least makes you more educated towards something.
Yeah.
And at the very least, that's all you can ask for, is to become a little more educated on things.
Even if it's a single point.
Even if it's a single point.
That still means you're smarter than the last guy. I'd rather be stupid for 30 seconds than 30 years.
It's true.
Insert meme.
Be smarter than all that matters is that you're smarter than yourself yesterday. And if you're not making that effort, then you're only punishing yourself.
Exactly. Well, I think that's a great way to end the episode.
I think so too. Alex, when are you going to have your truck back?
I don't know. I'm apparently supposed to be taking people to Seattle in December. I don't even have my fucking truck now.
We're cooked. I don't know. Well, In that case, I think I'll spin the wheel and decide what we're doing for next week's episode.
Yippee! I gotta go to the potty.
You gotta go potty?
Not potty. I gotta go number 2.
Oh, you gotta go poopy.
Poop.
All right, wheel. Let's just. Yeah.
I know I'm red. What's red?
Touch grass. Well, that's not happening anytime soon.
cold.
The grass is dead.
Yeah. I went on a walk today. It was
Double
nice.
spin. All right. What is going to be our next week's topic? And if it's touch grass again, I'm throwing
Is it touch grass?
It is.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Is it the balance off or something?
It probably is because it's on my leg. Okay. You know what? We'll put it behind me and we'll spin it the normal way.
Wasn't it like rigged or something the last time we tried it? Like it kept on like going to 1. Okay, do it now.
Okay, last time, and if it does touch grass again,
We'll touch grass.
I'm ending the podcast.
Let's see where it goes. No.
Oh, pancakes.
We're gonna do the pancake tier
All
list?
right, pancakes are the next episode.
Yippee.
Cool. Anyway,
Deuces. Love
peace
you.
out. See you guys next week.